Hi, beautiful ones, and welcome to this universal month of March 2026 Cosmic Numerology monthly forecast class. So, hi to everyone who's joining on the live. Hi to everyone who's watching on the replay. I hope you're all happy and well. Please feel free to tap into the comments if you're watching, say hello so that I can see you there, and yeah, and feel free to let me know where you're watching from. So normally I just kind of wait for the first 5 or 10 minutes of the live stream just to allow people to find me, and before I officially start the class. And also I'm still finding my way around StreamYard and navigating StreamYard. You'll be able to see that little icon in the top left. For some reason, I thought I was using the advanced version, which allows me to stream to multiple platforms, but it seems I am not. So I'm definitely live on YouTube. So hi to everyone who's watching on YouTube. But I am just going to share the YouTube link, the YouTube live link on Facebook. So I'm hoping that you can still see me whilst I do this. So I'm just going to share this. So just bear with me. I'm just going to share this on Facebook. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay, there we go. It's still new to me. I'm still finding my way around everything. So just bear with me. Okay. Oh goodness. Let's see if that works. I just need to share it in certain places on Facebook so that people that are looking for the live class can find it. I've been hosting these classes as paid classes via Zoom for the last few years, probably since definitely 2023. But yeah, I've been feeling to make the classes free again and more easily accessible for everyone that wants to join them. And normally I've always only ever done Facebook Lives, but I'm doing my best to share my content more widely on YouTube. I've had a lot of nervousness around that for quite a while. So let me I am just going to share this in the Facebook event as well. Because I know now that there are going to be people trying to find this on Facebook. There were some glitches with Facebook last time, but there weren't any with YouTube and YouTube Live. So that's why I felt just put it on YouTube. But yeah, I did think I was using the advanced version of StreamYard. Let's just see. With the advanced version, I think you can stream in up to like 8 different places maybe. Whereas with the free version, which it seems I'm on, you can only stream to one location live for free. So let's do that. Hopefully there are people watching live and that are finding this. If you are, hello, thanks for watching. Please feel free to let me know how you're going, where you're watching from, how this eclipse portal has been flowing for you. It's been a pretty activational one for me. I'll speak a little bit more about that in the class today, because the eclipse portal is going to be closing tomorrow, Tuesday the 3rd of March. So let me just I'm just going to post in the actual event to let people know where to find this, the people that want to join on YouTube, my YouTube channel. Those of you that have found me, you will have just typed my name into YouTube, hopefully, Catherine Kinney, and you will have found my channel, and hopefully it will just be showing that I'm live. Let's just see. Oh my goodness. Gone back to like the really old school way of doing it, putting it in all the places that people will be looking on Facebook. But hopefully I'll have everything figured out for next month to switch it all back on again across all the platforms. So I'm just going to put a post in one other spot, one other group. Let's just see. There's Cindy. I know there are people wanting and trying to tune in. Oh, okay, great. Oh, okay. Great, Cindy. That's great that you're watching. Thanks, lovely. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Let's just got to find Cosmic Numerology Facebook group. And I've just got to put it in as many places on Facebook as possible so that any of the people that are looking will be able to find the link. Although, hopefully, anyone that just hasn't automagically found it on Facebook will have just felt to go to YouTube anyway. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to find my own Facebook group. My own Cosmic Numerology Facebook group on, oh, goodness, on Facebook, and it's not coming up, which is very curious. Hopefully, as I'm doing all of this, those of you that are meant to be finding this are finding it. Hopefully. Let's just see. Just going to check one more thing. Let's see. Oh my goodness. But yeah, once again, those of you that are joining live, hello, welcome. I'm just sharing this link in a few places on Facebook so that people can find us. Okay, let's just come back to, okay, there's Pei Ling. Hey, Pei Ling. And so Cindy, I haven't been able to see your comments, but feel free to tap something into the comments again, and hopefully I can see them. There's Pei Ling. Hey, Pei Ling. Oh my goodness. I just want to do my best to find, I honestly don't know why I can't find the Cosmic Numerology Facebook group that I actually run myself. my groups. Okay, there we go. Goodness. Facebook on the laptop is so different to Facebook. Oh my goodness. On on the phone. Yeah, I can't see your comments, Cindy. That's really strange. But I can see Pei Ling's. Okay, so this is not streaming in as many places as I thought it would. Actually, maybe, okay, I've just had one other thought. I can share the link to the actual live on Facebook. That's what I'll do. I know that Steve and Evan Strong have this problem sometimes as well. Whenever they do their Facebook lives with StreamYard. So let me just okay, I'm just gonna share it on my Facebook page, and then hopefully people that are looking to join will find it. And then I can come back, be fully present, start the class, and that will be that. And then I'll figure everything else out technologically for next month. Okay. Done. So, hi everyone. Oh my goodness. We're here. I'm here. Thanks to everyone who's watching live and everyone else who finds their way here or is watching on the replay and the recording. So, for Universal Month, March, we've just entered it. So here in Australia, it's 11:22 right now. Here in Australia, it's the 2nd of March. Those of you that are watching in North America, you guys are still going to be 1st of March. But either way, we're right at the beginning of this month. And this is the 3rd month of the year. So the way that we know it's a 4 universal month is we take the 3rd month of the year and we add it to the current universal year, which is a 1. So 3 plus 1 equals 4. February was a 3 universal month. January was a 2. April will be a 5. So for the purposes of today's class and transmission, we are going to be focusing on the 4. I'm going to be sharing lots of information about the key themes of the 4. And then afterwards, for those of you that are watching live, I'll open things fully up for questions. I mean, of course, if you have questions as we go, feel free to tap them into the comments. That's all good. Yeah, I will be answering questions, giving some mini readings to those of you that are on the live and wish to receive them. And wow, there's the rain again. It's been raining quite a lot here recently, I think. Yes. And I'll also be doing some mini readings and calculating personal years and sharing information with people about their personal year numbers. So that's going to be the kind of format and the content for today's class. And I'll also be sharing a little bit of information, some little kind of astrological smatterings as well. I'll mention a little bit about the current Mercury retrograde that we're in. I'll speak a little bit about the closing of the eclipse portal that's going to be happening tomorrow, Tuesday, the 3rd of March. And we'll acknowledge the March equinox, which is going to be happening this year as well. So let's dive in. I always start my classes, transmissions, gatherings with acknowledgements to country. So I will start by paying my respects to, honoring and acknowledging the ancestors, the elders, the original indigenous custodians, current and emerging custodians of the land that I'm on and the lands that we are all on. I'm here in the Byron Shire of Australia, Bundjalung country, so I would also like to pay my respects to, honor and acknowledge all beings across all time, space and dimensions that have a connection to Bundjalung country. And I would like to pay my respects to, honor and acknowledge some specific clans by name that are connected to Bundjalung country, and especially the area that I live, which include the numerological or the Arakwal clan, the Nyangbal, the Minjimbal, the Durrumbal, the Weeabal, Widjabal, and nearby the Githabal clans. I would also like to pay my respects to, honor and acknowledge our bloodline ancestors, for whom without which we literally wouldn't be here. And I would also like to pay my respects to, honor and acknowledge our starseed ancestors, our starseed family, those that are walking among us here, inhabiting human flesh suits, experiencing life on Earth, and those that are looking down upon us or are watching through the dimensions across time and space, enjoying their cosmic popcorn, watching their version of cosmic Netflix series Earth 2026. They've just started a brand new series. So that's all the acknowledgements complete. I'm really hoping that people are finding us through Facebook. I'm just going to double, triple check. Yeah. And Cindy's struggling to, well, for her comments. Oh, there's Malia. Hey, Malia. I think in order for me to be able to see people's comments on YouTube, you have to have a YouTube account, I think, or a YouTube channel, maybe, or maybe at least a YouTube account, or anyway. But Cindy's asking if she can send me her comments. I would have to keep flicking between, but what I can do is once I've shared this transmission, the initial transmission, when it comes to questions and mini readings, yes, Cindy, I can definitely just flip over and see any messages that you send me through Facebook. Marley is saying, I think you have to have the app too. Who knows? This is all completely new territory for me. All I know is that I am doing my best to make these classes more universally available to everyone. So everyone who's watching on the live, hi, thanks. Everyone who's watching on the recording and the replay, thanks. Yeah, my pleasure, Cindy. I can just flick across. Anyone else that is watching on Facebook for any, oh no, probably not watching on Facebook, watching on YouTube, but for whatever reason I can't see your comments, you can send them to me through Facebook. So the 4, let's dive in. So what I will say off the bat is this month has the potential to be particularly activational for those of us that have 4s, 22 4s, or 44s in our blueprint, and 1s. So I know that's true for you, Pei-Ling, because I know that you're a 1, divine soul's purpose. And from memory, I'm trying to remember, I think you're a 4 expression. You'd have to correct me. It's interesting for me because I'm a 22 4 life path. And I'm a 1 heart's desire and soul's urge. And also I'm a 3 expression. So I've been being my 3, my 1 was being activated last month. The 2s in my 22 were being activated in January. the 4 in my 22-4 is being activated this month, along with the 1. But for those of us that don't have any 4s or 1s in our blueprint, it still has the potential to be activational, but perhaps it's even more important to be present for a class like this, because the themes of the 4, for example, and especially in relation to the 1, might be less familiar to you than they are for those of us that hold them in our birth blueprints, especially. So, it's an especially important class to be present, for those of you that don't have 4s or 1s. Marley is saying that a friend of hers is a 44 Heart's Desire. Amazing. Very interestingly, I'll also share this off the bat. The 4 energy has been coming in pretty strong for me, even in the last few days in the readings that I've been given, because in the last, I think, 3 or 4 days, or maybe definitely the last 5 days, or maybe the last week, I have given readings to 2 women that have at least 3 4s in their blueprint. I gave a reading to one lady who has a blueprint where she's just changed her name, and she didn't even look at the numerology of it. She came to me for a reading to know what the numerology of her new name was. And out of the 5 numbers in her blueprint, 3 are 4s and 1 is a 44. And I gave a reading to another lady the other day. I don't have my book with me. And she has 3 4s in her blueprint as well, and her married name has a 44. So the 4 energy through 2 of the women that I've given readings to in the last week has been coming in strong, really strong, the 4 and the 44 frequency. So what does the 4 mean? What are the themes of the 4? So many numerologists refer to the 4 as like the grounded builder. I also kind of refer to it from a female perspective as like the grounded weaver. It's a very, very, it's a frequency associated with grounding, with structure, with order, with laying strong and solid foundations. Having our ducks in a row, taking action. Now, the shadow of the 4 can be a bit of a kind of like headless chicken frequency, because, people taking action without strong and solid foundations, or without structure and order, or focus. Sometimes I feel like sometimes it's wasted energy. And since my awakening, so I'm a 22-4 life path, and not to say I was ever running around like a headless chicken, but I was really great at taking action, but I was always taking action for other people, or I was rowing on other people's boats, and I wasn't fully in alignment with my true authentic self, or my sovereign self, which really started to activate after I had my awakening, and I even became aware that I'm this one heart's desire as well, and that it was really important for me to become an entrepreneur. I actually knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur at 23 after I graduated, but I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the adults, the mentors around me. So I just went straight into a job, into the corporate world, and kind of earned my stripes, throughout my 20s, left the UK, went traveling, ended up moving to Australia, and started my first business at the age of 31 in 2012. But Marley is saying a headless chicken does sound like the opposite of ducks in a row. Yeah. And, the headless chicken is also when the 4 and the 5 come together, because the 5 is chaos and the 4 is action. And the 4, I say this to my students quite a lot, the 4 comes before the 5. So it's really, really important that we're all leaning into the energies of the 4 in this month, in March, before we get to April, which is the 5, because the shadow of the 5 is chaos. absolute chaos. And it's very interesting because I looked at Donald Trump's numbers a while ago. I'd have to double, triple check, but I'm fairly sure he is a 5 expression. I think he's got at least 1 5 in his blueprint. And I know, you know, there's a lot happening on the planet, and there's a lot happening in America at the moment. But I remember when I looked at his numbers and it all made sense. Donald John Trump. Yeah, he's a 5 expression, but he's a 4 life path. So again, very interesting combination. You know, with references to headless chickens. Not that I'm referring to him as one, but, you know, there's a lot of chaos that's happening, and a lot of action that is being taken, sometimes without forethought or without consideration or consultation, for example, with his presidency. But if we just come back to the 4, so the 4 says to the 5, before we make changes, let's get our ducks in a row. Before we step outside of our comfort zone, let's make sure that we've got some structure and we've got some order and we've got some foundations. So that the more we lean into the 4 in our own individual lives, especially this year, because we're in the context of a 1 universal year, and the 4 and the 1 say, I'm going to take action to take care of myself first and foremost, not from a selfish perspective, but from a self-loving perspective. And so really important month to be laying strong and solid foundations, creating structure and order in relation to your sovereignty, your authenticity, what feels true for you. And especially in the first half of March, the 3 energies of February are overlapping with the 4 energies. And again, the 3 is about truth, communication, speaking our truth, being in our sovereignty. And one of the things I've been reflecting on, even in the last week or so, is that I kind of got sucked in and caught up in someone else's, I don't know, let's just say curiosity. It wasn't even a bad thing. But I actually ended up on a bit of a path and on a little bit of a journey that wasn't completely in alignment with my sovereignty and my true sovereign self. So I had to just kind of like check in and calibrate and recalibrate, pull my energy back in, put some boundaries in place and be like, actually, this isn't my thing to investigate. If this person has questions around this, they can investigate themselves, so to speak. So that was something that was kind of interesting for me, even in the last week or so. So again, noticing where we might be having conversations where we're not speaking our truth, or we're not hearing other people's truths, or even involved in conversations that perhaps aren't authentic for us, or that aren't honoring our sovereignty. And then therefore putting a boundary in place. And this is something that I've really been noticing. And this is also something that can flare up during Mercury retrograde as well. So Mercury went into retrograde on the 26th of February. It's in Pisces. It's going to be in retrograde until the 21st of March. So we've still got, you know, we're only on the 2nd of March. So we've still got, gosh, like nearly like 20 days of it, definitely like well over 2 weeks of it, to nearly 3 weeks of it left. And Mercury is connected to communication. It's connected to a lot of other things, travel, beliefs, thoughts, but it is connected to communication. And whenever Mercury is in retrograde, it's always a wonderful opportunity to review how we communicate, the words that we speak, the thoughts that we think. Are the words that we speak in alignment with what we're thinking? Are we being conscious of our thoughts and our words? Are they in alignment? And are they all in alignment with our divine soul's purpose, our true, authentic, sovereign self? So, you know, all of this is going to be being amplified whilst Mercury is in retrograde, and it's retrograding in Pisces based on the true lifetime sky. And Pisces, I mean, there are many key themes to Pisces. Pisces is a highly sensitive frequency. It's connected to kindness and compassion, but it's also connected to wishes and dreams. And we just had this big Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Pisces on the 20th of February. I felt it. And there were lots of activations for me around and connected to the House of Love in the Byron Shire, this project that I've been working on for the last 10 years. And there were lots of people showing up, that were interested. And there were people wanting me to send the Dream Brand Blueprint vision document to them. So again, these planets are still close to one another in Pisces. And for me, that's a big dream weaving frequency and energy. So again, the 4 frequency is about taking action. And within the context of a one universal year, it's about taking action that is aligned with our true, authentic, sovereign selves. And ideally, the new earth and the co-creation of heaven on earth. I'm just checking. I think there are a couple of messages that are coming through on Facebook. Let's just see if there's anyone else that's trying to message me. Okay, there we go. So, there we go. Marley is saying Pisces sun. Amazing. And Paling said March is an 11 personal month in an 8 personal year. So this month, Paling for you has the potential to be very activational in connection to that 11 energy, even, and, the sun is moving through Aquarius towards Pisces as well. Like I always find this time of year very activational as we're moving towards the equinox as well, because when the sun moves into Pisces, I feel like there are big activations in terms of connecting in with our wishes and our dreams and dream weaving. I've been having some very vivid dreams recently. I don't know about you guys. Very vivid dreams. Very, very, very interesting. So, I definitely feel like it's a really good time to be dream journaling, paying attention to our dreams, the messages that are coming through, the things that are happening in our dreams. Even recurring dreams. I was having recurring dreams for a long time, especially throughout last year, where I was spending time with my parents, and we were always together in big cities. My parents live in the UK, 10,000 miles away, and I've not seen them since early 2020. And yeah, I was just having these recurring dreams where we were in all these different big cities together. It was mainly in Europe, actually, like Paris and London and all sorts of places. And we would go to the theatre quite a lot together as well in these dreams. And then a few months ago, my mum was like, "Oh, we've booked tickets to come and visit you. We're coming to Sydney. Come down and hang out with us in Sydney." She really wanted to go to the theatre. There's nothing on, but I'm going to be going down to Sydney to see them next weekend. It'll be the first time we will have all been together here in Australia since 2012. So, maybe I was kind of tapping into the thoughts and feelings that my parents were having and what was happening in the field in relation to us all coming together and being together in a big city. Anyway, back to the 4. The 4, interestingly, is like the complete opposite to the 11, because the 11 is, this wishes and dreams energy. It's very Neptunian. It's very Piscean. Whereas the 4, from an astrological perspective, it's very Taurian. It's very grounded, down to earth. It's quite Virgo, again, with the structure and the order and the ducks in a row. It's a bit Capricornian as well, practical, logical. It's quite Saturnian as well, because the 4 is quite a masculine energy and a masculine frequency. And I'm always interested when I come across women that have 4s in their blueprints, because depending on where they're placed, I always know that they're women that can get stuff done, especially if it's in what I call their core 3. So expression number, heart's desire and soul's urge, or personality number, expression number. And these come from our name. Expression number comes from all the letters in our name. Heart's desire and soul's urge comes from all the vowels in our name. personality number comes from all the consonants in our name. So some of the other themes of the 4: borders, boundaries, having healthy boundaries. So again, this might be a month to be further asserting boundaries or feeling the need to have healthy boundaries. First and foremost, with yourself and for yourself, because we're in this one universal year. And for the first 2 weeks, like I said, the 3 energies of February are going to be overlapping. So that can be around communication. It's around creativity and communication. So when the 4 and the 3 come together in relation to the 1, it's like, how can we have healthy boundaries with ourselves, with number 1, in relation to our communication or how we communicate with ourselves? And then if we're going out into the world, how are we communicating authentically? Are we communicating from a place of sovereignty? Are we communicating from a place of truth, which is the 3? So that's something to be conscious and aware of thematically for the first 2 weeks of March. Then when we get to the middle of March, around the 16th, the 5 energies of April are going to start coming through. And like I said, the 5 can bring a chaotic energy. The shadow of the 5 can be chaos. It is a boundaryless, limitless energy. So the 5 tests the boundaries of the 4. The 5, the shadow of the 5 can be addiction. The 4 is about moderation. And it's about being able to do things in moderation. Whereas the 5 comes in, and if we're not strong and solid in the 4, when the 5 comes in, or any of the numbers beyond that, our boundaries will get tested. So again, a great month to be anchoring boundaries, creating new boundaries. The 1 is all about the new, in preparation for April, because April is going to be a 5 universal month, and the 5 is a frequency of change and transformation, spontaneity, the unexpected. It's a very unpredictable frequency. It's associated with travel, adventure, stepping outside of your comfort zone, flow, water, air. So again, for those of us that are strong and solid and grounded and anchored in ourselves in this one universal year, we shouldn't get too shaken up by the 5 energies of April, whether it's, inside of ourselves or what's happening on the planet. I feel, any of us that are having a tough time on the planet, especially in relation to what's happening outside of us, it's because we're not strong and solid in our sovereignty. We haven't yet remembered that no one and nothing can affect or do anything to us that we, don't allow. And anyone else that might be struggling is because they're not grounded, they're not anchored, they're not strong and solid in the foundations of their true, authentic, sovereign self. So if you feel like your buttons are being pushed or have been being pushed recently, it's a time to kind of like double down and anchor down, and whatever is triggering you, like lean back into yourself and just think, how can I take better care of myself in relation to what's triggering me? Or what action can I take in my physical 3D reality? What seeds can I plant, which is the 1, to create new lines of time that are anchored more deeply in sovereignty and authenticity and truth, so that, we're not getting too sucked into or enmeshed with other people's behavior or model of the world or choices and decisions. And we're much more focused on our own individual physical 3D reality, where we live, the choices and decisions that we're making, and the reality that we are creating and co-creating. Because as much as the 1 is about sovereignty, it is also connected to oneness and unity consciousness and source and the monad, which is, one of the really important things that Pythagoras taught in his school of mathematics. He taught a lot about the monad being represented by the circle with the dot in the middle. It's also what a fertilized egg looks like. But the monad, the one, represents source, and it is the remembrance that we are the divine incarnate. We are God incarnate. We are universal consciousness incarnate, experiencing itself through our physical 3D human bodies and our eyeballs. And what we are seeing outside of us is a projection of what we're experiencing inside of us that is coming through the lens and filter of our physical human self, our brain, our mind, our egoic lens and filter. And as we affect our thoughts and our beliefs and rewire our brain, this is why neuroscience is amazing, and NLP and the neuroplasticity of our brain is amazing. The more of us that are connected in with our heart and our soul and our higher self and the divine and our divine soul's purpose, and we are planting conscious seeds and we are taking conscious action in the direction of the co-creation of heaven on earth, we are then walking conscious portals affecting physical 3D reality with our intentions, which is the 11, with our thoughts, which is the 7, with our words, which is the 3, with our actions, which is the 4. So this is another important thing to remember about the 1. Not all numerologists talk about the 1 in relation to that. Some of them are generally more focused on self and individuality, independence, leadership, all of that stuff, which is important. But the 1 is also connected to the monad. It's connected to source, universal consciousness, the divine source, whatever you want to call it. So again, a really important month. I mean, a whole important year as we journey with the 1 to be, connecting into. I know some people have these WWJD wristbands. What would Jesus do? I would probably have a WWOD or a WWSD. What would 1 do? What would source do? What would the monad do? And Jesus, is an amazing avatar and was an amazing human and man that came to earth to represent the Son of God, to be that mirror and that reflection of what it is to be embodying God incarnate. But we all have the ability to connect in with that. I connect Christ consciousness with the 33 frequency, but the master numbers go up to 99. I connect Mary Magdalene consciousness with the 44, and I was just talking about this with a beautiful lady that I gave a reading to the other day, and I actually taught a whole class on how I connect Magdalene consciousness and Gaia consciousness with the master number 44 back in 2023. It's a paid class if anyone ever wants to pay to access that. And then I taught another 2 classes last year on the more masculine energies that I connect with the 44 frequency. So that's for anyone that wants to dive more deeply into the master number energies of the 44. I also taught a class on the 22-4 last year as well. I'm not going to be speaking about them in any detail today, but they are the higher level, more advanced vibrations and master number frequencies of the 4. But coming back again to the 4, down to earth, the 4 is a very earthly, physical, 3D, mortal frequency. From a nature perspective, I connect the 4 with rocks, dirt, earth, trees. They're things that are theoretically immovable or fairly immovable, versus the 5, which is like water and air, and they can flow around them, or they can move them. But the rocks and the trees and the earth and the dirt represent more solidity, so to speak. And, the bigger the rocks or the bigger the trees, then you're getting into the kind of 22-4 or the 44. So that's where you'd have gigantic trees like the General Sherman, for example, the giant sequoias, or giant rocks like Uluru, for example. But again, this is a wonderful month to be connecting in with solidity, physical 3D reality, physical matter. And for any of you that struggle with grounding, spending time in nature, connecting with the trees, hugging the trees, communicating with the trees and the rocks, I have a very strong connection to them. Has the potential to be, great this month, especially in relation to self. Spending time by yourself. The one can be about aloneness. It can be about solitude. But again, it can also be about source and oneness and unity consciousness. So for those of you that are wanting to kind of connect into that more expanded state of the one, how to connect in with the oneness of everything through the rocks, through the earth, the dirt, the trees, for example. Let's just see what else we've got. Yeah, the 4, like I said, is about borders and boundaries and the merit of them. There are some people that struggle with those things, especially people with no 4s and 5s. I find that, those are the people that struggle with lockdown in 2020, which was a 4 universal year. That was the last 4 universal year. I was fine with it because, my 22-4 was really happy. But, our skin is a physical boundary. It's a very, very important physical boundary. If we didn't have skin, all of our bones and all of our blood and muscles and organs would just fall out everywhere. So again, it's about the importance of like honoring boundaries, celebrating boundaries, and the importance of them because they contain things, and containment sometimes is important. Yeah. And again, boundaries can be loosened over time, but some boundaries are not meant to, like if we lost the boundary of our skin, all of our bits and pieces would fall out. So again, very, very important month to be working on grounding. Marley is saying I'm working on grounding synchronicity. Oh, great. Synchronicity is connected to the 7. And that's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that they're working on grounding synchronicity. The other important thing to know about the 4 is it's connected to embodiment. And this is a number that I love. And this is something I've been working on consciously since probably about 2021. For those of you that know me and have followed me for a while, you will know that I am a pretty cosmic being. And after my awakening at the end of 2012, I got lit up like a Christmas tree, pretty much. And I remembered that I'm Andromedan, and I remembered that I'm a cosmic, eternal, infinite being having a limited physical 3D human experience here on Earth. And I just was experiencing a very, very, very expanded state for quite a while, probably about 4 or 5 years, maybe longer, actually, probably a lot longer than that. Probably about, 8 or 9 years, actually. And it wasn't until probably 2021. And for a long time, I just wanted to go back to Andromeda because I found life on Earth too heavy, too dense, too slow, too overwhelming at time, or too fast. It was either too slow or too fast. It was, my 22-4 jetpack tortoise was, kind of all over the place for a while. But I just wanted to go back to Andromeda for a long time and sip a cosmic cocktail, put my cosmic feet up and have a rest from being here on Earth, because it all just felt too much. And I especially wasn't a fan of the density and a lot of the contrast experiences that I was having, a lot of the not very fun things I was witnessing and observing, until I really started to snuggle down with the 9. And the 9 is about unconditional love of all, which is, the highest level of mastery that we are here to experience from a physical 3D perspective before we get to any of the other master numbers, the 11, the 22, the 33, etc. And it wasn't until I started journeying with my most recent partner, Jared, in 2021, where I really started to surrender to being human and not wanting to kind of leave Earth continuously. Malia says, I've been missing my star home recently. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, and I feel for those of us that have a connection to the stars and our star homes and our starseed family, um, life on Earth, it can be really intense. This is why I love connecting with those of us, that are particularly cosmic here on Earth, especially those of us that either have or have a strong connection to the master numbers. But as a 22-4 life path and an 11-2 personality, I was very much conscious and aware of these master number energies and this star eldership kind of vibration and what I had the ability to connect into. But I knew that as a 22-4 life path, I really needed to be nailing and embodying the mastery of the 2 and the 4. So there was a little ceremony that we did at the campsite close to the base of Mount Wollumbin here in northern New South Wales, in Australia. And we camped there for 7 weeks and we worked with the fire almost every night. And I was doing a lot of journaling. I was doing a lot of letter writing. I was writing a lot of letters to people, some of whom it's just not possible for me to have conversations with or speak my truth in the way that I wish to. And then I would give them to the fire at the end of every day. And I think it was the last night that we were there. And for some reason, one of the ceremonies that we'd done, I just decided that I was going to surrender to being human and stop wanting to leave and stop wanting to go home and just do my best to surrender to being human and figuring out how to just optimize my experience as a human. And, that was like early July 2021. And ever since then, I've been working more deeply on embodiment and doing my best to feel more safe. Safety is connected to the 4, to embody my sovereignty and be my true authentic self, and also doing my best to practice as much unconditional love for myself and all beings as possible, which is connected to the 9, and to honor everyone else's sovereign choices, even if I don't agree with them, and to only really speak my truth or intervene if someone's choices or actions are directly affecting my physical 3D reality. Otherwise, doing my best to try and detach from the drama that might be going on around me. The shadow of the 3 is drama, and the shadow of the 5 is chaos. And we know there's a lot of that happening on the planet right now. But the 1 and the 4 says, how can I focus more on myself? How can I focus more on oneness and source and universal consciousness? And the 4 says, how can I put strong and solid boundaries in place, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, verbal, energetic, to better protect my sovereign self from anyone or anything that might be out there making choices and decisions that I don't agree with. And then also, reflecting and saying, is this, do I have any control over this? If no, and this is a Buddhist principle, letting it go and just being the observer. But if we do have the ability to affect it, then taking conscious action. So embodiment. And for me, this is one of the reasons why cosmic numerology is so important to me, because I feel like cosmic numerology, I'm here to help and support people to embody who they came here to be at a soul level, to be the most magnificent versions of themselves possible, to embody their divine soul's gifts, talents, abilities, heart's desire and soul's urge, passion, the role that they came here to play. I might have already said it already, divine soul's purpose, and to feel able to walk their life path, their sovereign life path, the path that they've come here to walk, sharing all of their gifts, talents, abilities, following their passion, embodying the role that they've come here to play, to live their divine soul's purpose. And so for me, oh, hey, lovely. There's Lady Spellbreaker 1313. Lovely to see you. And of course, first and foremost, I'm focused on myself. And this is one of the reasons why I love sharing these monthly like forecasts and classes, because they're as much for you as they are for me. They're as much for you as they are for me. There's Laurie. Hey, Laurie. Laurie's in Washington. Yes, there's the 13. Yeah. 4. I love that about the number 13, that it's a 4 frequency. Oh, we've got more people joining. This is awesome. You guys have found me. So embodiment. And with the 3 overlapping with the 4 for the first 2 weeks, how do we embody our truth? How do we embody our creativity? How do we allow our body to emit that and transmit that? That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow, amazing. So what else to share with you about the 4 before we get onto the astro stuff? Oh yeah. The 4 is associated with efficiency. It's associated with hacks, finding quicker and easier ways to do things. It's associated with taking action, like I said. It's a rabbit energy, and a hare energy. And it's interesting because we're now in this kind of yang fire horse Chinese New Year as well, which again is very, very yang energy. We just moved out of the yin wood snake. And so, yeah, like this could be a month for finding quicker and easier ways to do things. Because really, when a 4 finds a quicker and easier way to do something, they generally will go back to the old way of doing things. And again, with the 4 universal month in a 1 universal year, that is how we can find new ways of taking action. There we go. Oh, lovely. Thanks for inviting. Amazing. Oh, bless. So lovely to have you with us. Hi to everyone who's watching, and welcome if you're new to cosmic numerology. There we go. Okay, we've got some 1 life paths in the house. Amazing. Yeah, this year 2026 has the potential to be a big year for those of us, activational year for those of us with 1s in our blueprints. And then again with the 4, like I said, it's associated with momentum. It's associated with, like, the daily sadhana, the daily practice, like committing to something and then taking action in the direction of it every single day. It's associated with like rhythm and drumbeat, so to speak. And also, like I said, it's associated with reliability, commitment, loyalty. I connect it with dog energies. I also connect the 4 with Sirius. Thanks, Heather. Bless you. Yeah, I connect the 4 with Sirius as well. And it's interesting actually, because I was even doing gardening it was yesterday. It was the first day of March, and I heard this dog whining and howling and crying. And the shadow of the 1 and the 4, the 1 can be abandonment and the 4 can be dogs, or dogs being left in a confined space. And I could hear this dog howling and crying for like several hours whilst I was doing the gardening, and my heart went out to it. And I've experienced that a lot. I feel it's tough for me when I hear dogs crying. I've never owned a dog, but that's another way that the 1 and the 4, or the shadow of the 1 and the 4, can play out. Okay, here's a question. Pei-Ling, curious your take on the numbers of skin things and rashes. I've been experiencing an eczema-like rash on my leg for a few months, which I connect with 4 skin boundary, 1 autoimmune, 7 nervous system. Okay. Great question. So, yes, I believe from a health perspective that anything related to the skin is connected to the four because it's connected to this boundary. It can also be connected to the nine, which is detoxification, because one of the ways that our body detoxes is through the skin because it is the largest organ in our body. And one of the ways that our body can express itself, especially if something has been suppressed, is through the skin. Now, with eczema, it's really interesting because I had never experienced eczema before in my life before about 2020. And when I was journeying with my previous partner, who I'm not with anymore, we separated in 2022. But I got this really bad eczema outbreak on my little finger, all the way up, all on my knuckle, and it would get so bad it would bleed sometimes. It was all up this finger. And it was red raw, really, really, really painful. I looked up the book, The Body is the Barometer of the Soul, because I wanted to know the metaphysical meaning of anything going on with these joints and these parts of the fingers. And I also looked up eczema. And for me, based on what I can remember, a lot of what was going on with these fingers and with eczema was like unprocessed or unexpressed rage, which was definitely coming up at the time. And again, for any of you that have eczema or have experienced eczema, it's a burning sensation and feeling. I also feel from a past life perspective, there was something coming up here that was connected to a trauma or a wound that I experienced in a past life in this part of my body. And I remember I was getting some acutonics treatment, and the lady said, "Oh, it looks like, you've punched someone." And I was like, I haven't. But she said, she was also a nurse, and she said, this is the part of the hand, especially if someone's right-handed, that will get hurt or damaged when someone's punched someone or something. And I also feel like there was something from a past life that I was processing here. I've also and it's all healed now. I did a lot of work on it. I did a lot of meditation on it. I did a lot of releasing of all the anger and rage that was coming up in me, in and around my body. But I also got a hold of this really incredible cream that I have never spoken about online before, but I hold it close to me. I don't even know what it's called because it is in some kind of I think it's Chinese. I'm not sure. You might be able to read it better than me, Pei-Ling. I don't know what the ingredients are because they're all in Chinese as well. All I know is that of all the things that I tried, actually, there's some words in English. Oh, you can't read it because it's too close. Of all the things that I have tried, topically, this was the only thing that helped and healed my eczema. And I've also been getting, you probably can't even see it, I've been getting a little bit of eczema here, but again, I've been putting castor oil on it, and I've been putting this cream on it, and it's really been helping. I don't know what the cream is called. I think the company's called like Happy Cream, or I don't even know. I got it on Amazon. But this is the only cream that I found topically to help with my eczema. And actually, I saw a lady who was singing at our local farmers markets the other week. She's covered in eczema, and it's really bothering her, and she's really been struggling with it. And I told her about this cream, and she said she didn't trust it because she didn't know what the ingredients were. And Shadow of the Seven is not trusting something. But anyway, it smells really good. It's like a pinky, and like, I don't know. Anyway, it's amazing. So, yes, I do feel like eczema is connected to the 4, which is the skin, 7, the nervous system. Autoimmune, I would actually connect more with the 1 and the 8, because the 8 is about attacking, and the 1 is self. And autoimmune is when we attack ourselves. And what I've noticed is my friends, or the people that I know that have autoimmune issues or things where the body is attacking itself, a lot of them have 8s in their blueprints. But I would also connect it with the 9, because I feel like sometimes these things with our skin are our body's way of detoxifying and releasing something, or bringing it to the surface and bringing it to our attention. But I also feel it could be, it doesn't have to be, but it could be connected to past life. And again, the 9 is connected to the past. So that's a great question. Thanks for that, Pei Ling. So I'm just checking through. There we go. Birthday, April 24th, 424. Amazing. There we go. This is from talking about Sirius. Malia, Sirius is my home. And Sirens, wait, right when you said it. There we go. Lady Spellbreaker, deep connection to Sirius as well. Here we go. Because I don't know everyone's name. It's so funny. Goal Getter Girls. Good to look up meridians too. Yes. I feel like it was very interesting, actually, because I don't know how many of you are aware of acutonics. Acutonics is basically uses Chinese medicine and uses the Chinese system of the body, and uses acupuncture points, but uses tuning forks on the acupuncture points, and uses tuning forks that are tuned to specific vibration or frequencies of the music of the spheres, the sun, the moon, and the planets. And I remember I think I had a 30-minute acutonic session, and I would say the redness, the rawness, the pain connected with these fingers, based on the nodes that she was using and the meridians and the points and the combination of tuning forks and everything, it had reduced by probably about 80% pain and discomfort. So yes, that is a very good point. Here we go. Lady Spellbreaker, oh wow, I have had that happening on my left hand also. Unexpressed rage in a love and light world. I just did an intro to women's boxing today to unleash some anger. I hope that helps. Quite possibly, yeah. I have 2 other soul sisters. One has a 22-4 and a 4, and the other one has a 44. And they've both experienced eczema again in the same point, but depending on what their dominant hand is, either on the left or the right. It's very interesting. I've never spoken about that. There we go. Miracle, traditional Chinese medicine. Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I wasn't sure. I was a bit nervous because I didn't know what ingredients it had, but it worked. It's really amazing. And now I just use castor oil on this hand. I don't even necessarily need the magical yellow stuff. Malia, I use coconut oil and I cover my hands with socks overnight. Oh, that's so beautiful. That's sweet. Okay. Lady Spellbreaker. Oh, 9 is the past. Yeah, 9 is the past. The 1 is like the now and the new. The 9 is death. The 1 is birth. My daughter Kayla ascended to another dimension on 9/9/2020 at age 22 on Mars retrograde. Sun was in Leo. Wow. Bless Kayla. That's a very interesting portal to leave through and to journey through on the 9/9. I've had a lot of synchronicities with 9/9. My grandmother, my maternal grandmother, was born on 9/9, and a previous partner of mine, 2 partners ago, he had a baby on 9/9, not last year, but the year before. So it's, and the 9 is also associated with anniversaries and like remembrance, like, remembering things that are anchored, kind of that have happened in the past, but like celebrating them and honoring them, so to speak. So when the 1 and the 9 come together, that's when we celebrate a birthday, because the birthday is the origin of ourself, of our incarnation, and the 1 is connected to origins and the 9 is connected to celebration. So Pei-Ling, super interesting. This was my first experience with eczema, though many of my family members have. Detox of the 9 also resonates. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember whether you know acutonics at all. Yeah, lovely to meet you and be with you here as well. So the book is called The Body is the Barometer of the Soul. It's amazing. Really, really, really amazing. And my copy is either in storage or got lost in the floods or is back in the UK. But I have so many amazing, beautiful friends on Facebook that whenever I need to look something up, I just put a post on Facebook and go, does anyone have this? Can someone take photos of this page, please? Yeah, it's an amazing book. Highly recommended. Malia, I have a grandma that passed on 9/9. Wow, all these 9/9 synchronicities. That's incredible. Blessings to your grandma, Malia. Yeah. So Kayla was cremated on 9/11/2020. She was born on the 19th of August 1998. That's lots of 8s and 9s and 1s. She was a 9 life path. You're a 1 life path. Her search time was 1919, the beginning and the end. Wow. Bless, Kayla. Bless. So let me just see what else there is to share with you guys about the 4, and then we can continue with questions and maybe even look at some personal years as well. So yeah, like I said, the 4 is quite a masculine energy numerologically. It's about making things happen. It's about weaving things into reality. And the 1 is an initiatory frequency. So when the 1 and the 4 come together, it can be about initiating action as well. And again, sometimes people that don't have 1s in their blueprint, they can struggle a little bit with initiating things. Let's just honor what Lady Spellbreaker is saying. I meant her death time 1919 on 9/9. Yeah. Beginning and the end, absolutely. And it's kind of like a caduceus, like the snake eating itself. It's like, I shared a lot about the 9 in classes last year because we were in this 9 universal year. And the 1 and the 9, even though like linearly the 1 is here and the 9 is here, if you put them on a circle, the 1 and the 9 sit right next to each other. So I always find it very interesting, the relationship between the 1 and the 9, death and birth, and then even rebirth, which is possible. And interestingly, I did say this in last month's class, we've still got the 9 energies of last year, 2025, overlapping with the 1 energies of 2026 for the first 6 months of this year, right the way through until the end of June. And then from the beginning of July, the 11 energies of 2027 will start coming through. There we go. Wow, she drew the Ouroboros everywhere, the snake eating its tail, caduceus. Yep, that's the 1 and the 9. Wow, that's very, very interesting. Yeah, absolutely. And blessings to Kayla as well. Yeah. Fascinating. The synchronicities I find with the numbers and the themes and humans are just unignorable. So just some of the final things to share with you about the 4, before we just tap into some of the astrological happenings in March, and then we'll open everything up further for kind of questions and personal years. So, like I said, the 4 it's a work energy. It's a taking action, getting things done energy. It's very logical, and it's very focused. It's about focus. So again, this has the potential, especially before April, to help us get very, very focused on self, focused on our sovereign self. And are we taking action, which is the 4, and are we planting seeds in this one universal year as individuals and as a collective that are in alignment with our sovereignty, with our authenticity, with our truth? The seeds that we plant as individuals and as a collective in a one universal year pave the way for the next 9 years. So very, very, very important to be consciously planting sovereign seeds that are in alignment for us, our divine soul's purpose, and that are in alignment with what feels authentic. So some of the final things, just from the animal and the creature world, I've already said that I associate the 4 with dogs and with like the hare and the rabbit. Hare and the rabbit, the action, the 44, the ever ready bunny that just keeps going. The 4, the dog, reliable, committed, man's best friend. A dog is for life, not just for Christmas, all of those things. And I also associate the 4 with ants and bees because they're workers, so to speak. And the queen bee would be like the 22-4, for example. So again, pay attention to any ants, bees, dogs, hares, rabbits that you might be seeing this month, or any other animals or creatures that you feel could be associated with the 4 frequency. Just coming back to the caduceus, there we go. Oh wow, that symbol of the snake eating its tail was on the TV show I was watching last night. There's the synchronicities. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. Here we go. I have bees follow me and hover over me when I'm laying in the sun in the summer. Ants, ants have been really present for me. And it's interesting because the address that I live at, the street is a 4 frequency. And my housemate has a 4 and a 44 in his blueprint. So I've definitely felt the 4 energy with the ants present. And, they kind of, they flow along, certain parts of the pavement, and they've got certain pathways that they follow in our garden and up walls and things like that. So they're constantly present for me. The birds especially as well, and the bird songs and the bird sounds, which I connect with the 3. And the bird tribe. So I don't tend to focus on the shadow aspects and the shadow elements of the 4. Let's just honor this comment. The queen bee is related to one of my gene keys. Amazing. But I will just touch on some of the shadow aspects and elements of the 4. So the 4s can get overly focused on work. It can be associated with workaholism or burnout. The 4 can get overly focused on detail and specifics. It can get overly rigid and overly boundaried. So these are some of the ways that the 4 might also be playing out, because, we're here to experience, the polarity and the duality of each number and the opposites of each number, so that we can ideally be experiencing more of an equanimous perspective of that number. And really, for me, as I've been on my journey, and I had a big chronic health journey for about 8 years that really slowed me down. I had chronic and adrenal fatigue for about 8 years. And I was in the shadow of the 22-4, and I just kept burning myself out repeatedly. And first of all, it was in the 4 and physical 3D corporate world stuff. And then it was spiritual burnout. And what it really taught me was to make sure that I'm only taking action from a sovereign place and perspective, and from an intentional place and perspective. And that's the more kind of like, I guess, enlightened, conscious place to be embodying the 4, if that makes sense. So those are just some of the shadow aspects. And then, some top tips for how to journey through this 4 universal month in a 1 universal year. It could be a great month for having healthy boundaries to protect and honor your sovereignty or authenticity, which I've already said. A great month to be taking conscious action and planting sovereign seeds, especially connected to origins or our origins or original ways of being, origins all connected to the 1. It could be a great month to lay strong and solid foundations of sovereignty and authenticity. A great month to be embodying your sovereignty and your authenticity and connecting in with source and oneness and unity consciousness as well, and embodying that. What would God or source, infinite consciousness think, say, do, act? A great month to be focusing on self, looking after and prioritizing yourself before others, not in a selfish way, but a self-loving way. And if that's already 100% tickety-boo, then a great month to be focusing on oneness, source, unity, consciousness, and embodying conscious, sovereign leadership, way showing, and guiding. So that's, those are some of the key themes of the 4 universal month within the context of a 1 universal year. And before we fully get into kind of questions and looking at people's personal years or anything else, I just want to share some astrological nuggets based on true lifetime sky, 13 star sign astrology, sidereal astrology, what's actually happening in the sky when you look at it with your eyeballs in the way that our ancestors read it. So as I said at the beginning of this class, we are in Mercury retrograde. Mercury went retrograde in Pisces on the 26th of February. It will go direct on the 21st of March, right around the equinox. So we've still got a fair few weeks of Mercury in retrograde, or Gatorade, as I know some people joke. I don't have any fear around the retrogrades. For me, they are review times. They are great times to take stock, to slow down, and to review areas of our life that are connected to the themes of the planet that is retrograding within the context of the themes of the constellation that the planet is retrograding. Some of the key themes of Mercury, like I said before, communication, how we communicate with others, speaking our truth, hearing other people's truths. It's connected to the mind, the brain, our thoughts, our beliefs. It's connected to travel, adventure, contracts, agreements. Some people are like, oh, it's never a good time to sign a contract or start something new or whatever. It's just an important time to be slowing down and being more present and more conscious with these areas of our life, to not rush, to not hurry, to just, again, in this 4-month, be more focused, not run around like a headless chicken. And I feel like those of us that have clunky or, glitchy experiences during Mercury retrograde, it's because we're vibrating with an incoherent signal. It's because we're not in complete coherence. It's because we're not fully present. And life, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is slowing us down and is inviting us to review how we're speaking, how we're communicating. It's also connected to technology. So how we communicate via technology, how we use technology to communicate. Are we using it for the highest good? Are we conscious about what we're communicating, what we're saying, how we're using our words? Same with travel. Are we traveling consciously? Are we booking travel consciously, mindfully, intentionally? Same with our thoughts. Are we thinking consciously and intentionally? Are we present with and aware and conscious of our thoughts? Or are things being brought to our awareness so that we can rewire that, or we can change those thoughts and beliefs to some that are more sovereign, more supportive, more empowered, more conscious? And contracts, you can do whatever you like, but this, you know, what I found is some contracts that are made, or agreements that are made, or things that are bought, or, you know, big things that are committed to during Mercury retrograde. Maybe it was an opportunity to actually just sit with that and feel into it, or review it, or ask some questions, or modify it a little bit. I've just been making modifications based on feedback and guidance and advice from someone that read the Dream Brand Blueprint for my vision for the House of Love in the Byron Shire recently. So, you know, these are you know, Mercury is in retrograde, you know, right the way through into March 21st. Then we'll be in the post retrograde shadow for about at least 2 weeks after that. Marley is saying February 11th was when Mercury entered its pre-shadow. That may be a great day to look back on to see what showed up to work on with the Rees. And it's, you know, it's interesting for me because what I find is what is brought to our attention in pre-Mercury retrograde shadow is like a trailer thematically for some of the really big things that then manifest and happen during Mercury retrograde. So there were already some things that I was aware of in terms of the conversations I was having, the things I was investigating, that weren't in complete alignment for me and weren't based on my true sovereign self. And luckily, I was able to kind of pull that in, rein that in, course correct before Mercury even went into retrograde. And I'm going into Mercury retrograde with more of that consciousness of, I'm not going to reach out to people or have conversations or investigate things that I don't feel I need to, because I'm surrogating it for someone else, if that makes sense. And then the post retrograde shadow is theoretically where we really start to integrate everything that has been brought to our awareness during the Mercury retrograde period. And my friend Femi, who's a wonderful 13-star sign astrologer, she's always said to me, sometimes that post retrograde shadow period can be more intense for people that haven't really got the memos or consciously journeyed through the review period of the Mercury retrograde itself. And I've been consciously journeying with retrogrades, especially Mercury retrogrades, for years now. And yeah, it's I find it really important. Also, I was born with Mercury in retrograde, and Femi also once said to me, she believes that for those of us with Mercury in retrograde when we're born, it can be more of an internal experience, especially in terms of how we're communicating with ourselves, which I've always found. And then for those that were born without Mercury in retrograde, it's more of an external experience in terms of how we communicate externally, how we use technology, how we travel, the contracts, the agreements, how our thoughts, you know, how we might be being or allowing ourselves to be affected by the thoughts and beliefs of others, and how to kind of rein that in. Malia just said, so the 11th of February, that was when James Van Der Beek passed. Yeah, I was so sad to see him pass. So interestingly, he had a 44 in his blueprint. Yeah. I was a big Dawson's Creek fan. Me and my sister, big Dawson's Creek fans growing up. I think he was a 44 personality, actually. I'd have to double check. But I just watched his performance of Griffin on The Masked Singer. Oh my goodness, he was so amazing, and I had no idea that he was a singer and that could sing that well. He was a 4 expression and a 44 personality, and he was a 3 divine soul's purpose. I had no idea that he could sing so brilliantly and that he wanted to be on Broadway. And I feel, I'm not saying this is one of the reasons why he had cancer, because there'll be many reasons why, but it feels like he never fulfilled that wish and that intention and that desire. And I feel like he would have just been so amazing in on Broadway. He just had the most incredible voice. For anyone that loves James Van Der Beek and hasn't watched it, just look up Griffin Masked Singer and you get to hear him sing. It was so beautiful, and you could really hear his voice, because his voice is quite distinctive. I think if I didn't know it was him, I might not have guessed, but it was so beautiful. And then the other final things astrologically to acknowledge. So we are literally in the final stages of this first eclipse portal of 2026. There are two. The next one's in August. I don't know how this eclipse portal's been for you, but it's been pretty okay for me. And what I've noticed is, for those of us that are awake, aware, in alignment, present, grounded, come into these eclipse portals consciously, leave them consciously, they have the potential to be quite activational, especially in relation to, living our divine soul's purpose, being embodying the highest level of service and all of our gifts, talents, and abilities. So it's been quite activational for me in relation to the House of Love and my project. Here in the Byron Shire, I've had more people showing interest that I've been able to send my vision document to. I watched some I binge watched the Sacred Geometry show on Gaia. For any of you that haven't watched it, it's amazing. Started to learn about biogeometry, which is also amazing. And the work of Ibrahim Karim from Egypt. I've been having some amazing conversations with Architect Plus through Metatron mode. For any of you that don't know about that, just look up Architect Plus on Gaia, and Robert E. Grant. Really fun. What else has been happening? It's been very, very activational. Very, very, very activational. He was saying, so in relation to James, I feel like Hollywood suppressed his true self. And I guess that would be just a reflection of him suppressing his own true self as well. Because again, when we come back to the one, that's when we take full responsibility for ourselves. And it's quite easy to allow things or people or places or spaces or industries to suppress us. I know that I allowed that for a long time in my life. Friends, family, all sorts, myself. But again, I guess he probably didn't just give himself full permission to really embody his true self, which is why it was so wonderful to watch him, as Griffin in The Masked Singer. It was so beautiful to kind of see that expression of himself authentically. So eclipse. So interestingly, tomorrow is going to be a full moon and total lunar eclipse in Leo, constellation of Leo. For those of you watching Australia, it is going to be visible with your eyeballs. Yes, and it's going to be full moon total lunar eclipse in Leo. And again, Leo is about being seen. It's about our creativity. It's quite a social, out there, kind of vibrant energy. So I feel with this closing of the first eclipse portal, if there's anything or anyone anywhere or yourself that might be suppressing or limiting you or holding you back from allowing yourself to be seen in all your magic and all your glory, maybe we can use this reference of James Van Der Beek as a reflection to us all. This is an amazing time to be letting go of whatever is holding you back from being your true, authentic, vibrant, sparkly, creative, wonderful, magical self. And pay attention to anything that might be mirrored to you or might be being shown to you or might be triggering you, especially in relation to being seen. My moon is Leo. So, and there's already some things that have been tinkling to the surface to kind of softly and gently push my buttons and trigger me. And it's all around my singing voice as well. It's very, very interesting. So I'm aware. I've also had a New Earth choir that I've been wanting to start in physical 3D reality here in the Byron Shire of Australia. And I definitely feel like that is going to be being birthed in the next month or two as well. So Malia, I didn't know he sung either. He made a video in January about the 12-month calendar not making sense. Bless him. Yeah, he was sharing quite a lot of really beautiful, I mean, he was a 44 personality numerologically. I don't know what his astrology was, but he was an advanced soul. Like I would refer to him as a star elder. He was a very advanced being, but he just wasn't able to, like, I guess, fully embody who he came here to be. And maybe he didn't have the full support to be who he came here to be. There we go. 331 magic numbers. I'm a Leo moon. Kayla is a Leo sun. Yeah, I'm a Leo moon as well. Laurie is a Leo sun and moon. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. I feel it's gonna be quite an activational eclipse, and it's on a 3-3. So I spoke about this last month, but the third day of the third month, and the 3 is all about creativity, self-expression, using our voice, the spoken word, how we use our words, and yeah, it's about allowing ourselves to be conduits for the divine, and to use our bodies to be creative and spread positivity and happiness and fun and play and joy. There we go. Amazing. Yeah. I feel like it could be a really good full moon and lunar eclipse to be singing. It's my friend Mark's birthday tomorrow, and it's quite possible that we'll all be coming together for him as well. I've been loving taking my ukulele to the monthly fires that we've been holding for the full moon. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, confidence, solar plexus. I connect the 3 with the sun and the solar plexus. Absolutely. And the 1 is courage and confidence. So again, when the 1 and the 3 and the 4 come together, it's about having the courage and the confidence to embody, which is the 4, our creative gifts, which is the 3. There we go. Goal Getter Girl says mine's about releasing an online program and being seen online. Scared shitless, lol. Yeah, and so use this full moon and this total lunar eclipse to let go, softly and gently let go and release, anything, any fears, and to call in that whatever it is that we feel we need, whether it's for ourselves or through others, to help us feel less scared. Yeah. So that's going to be the eclipse tomorrow. For anyone watching in Australia, totality will begin at 10:04 p.m. Byron time, Sydney time. Maximum, the eclipse will be at 10:33 p.m. and the totality will end at 11:02 p.m. What have we got here? I make karaoke cover song videos on my other channel for creative fun and expression. I have a stellium, Mars, North Node, Moon, Jupiter in Leo at Regulus with Saturn over near Virgo. Amazing. That's great. I was just thinking the other day, because my other housemate, he's been singing a lot more. I've been hearing him sing a lot more. And I was just thinking, it'd be fun to maybe have a karaoke night and get people together to sing. It's another reason why I want to create the choir as well. Hi, lovely. 1111 in the building from 1313. Amazing. And then just the final thing to acknowledge is the equinox, the March equinox. So that will be happening here in Australia Sunday 22nd of March. The zenith of it will be at 1:46 a.m. and that's the halfway point. That's the halfway point. Amazing. So the halfway point is the equinox between the solstices. So the solstices, very, very powerful times to be setting intentions, moving with the very, very powerful energy of when the sun, kind of stands still, so to speak, for like 3 days. The equinox is the kind of quarterly check-in point. So it's an important time to be checking in with how we're journeying with any intentions that we set in the December solstice, but it's also equinox. It's theoretically a time where, especially for those of us that live in the hemispheres, where it's equal day and equal night. So it's a balance point. It's a calibration or recalibration point. The equinox is a powerful time to be noticing where anything might be out of balance in our life, to bring it more into balance, coherence, to calibrate, recalibrate, balance. So, when it comes around to the 21st, 22nd of March, not only will Mercury retrograde be completing, Mercury will be going direct and moving into post-Mercury retrograde shadow, but we will be moving into the equinox, the March equinox. So it will be the spring equinox for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere. It will be the autumn equinox for those of us in the Southern Hemisphere. So I feel like that's everything that I wish and feel to share from a teaching perspective about this 4 universal month, numerologically and astrologically. I know people have been asking questions throughout, but I just want to open up the space in case anyone has any specific questions for me, especially related to cosmic numerology, or if anyone would like me to have a look at your personal year. Please feel free to tap into the comments. I'm also just going to skip across to Facebook just quickly to see if there are any messages there. Let me just see. I don't know whether Cindy's still. Oh, there's Cindy. Cindy had said when we were talking about ants, me too, regarding ants, have had them all over me, present in all the spaces I'm in. Same, constant. Okay, Cindy, yes, please, love to know. Okay, so I'm going to focus on personal years, because we're still at the beginning of, we're still quite close to the beginning of 2026, and this is a good teaching. So to calculate our personal year, we take the day and the month that we were born, and we add it to the current year universally that we're in. So I'll give an example of me. So I was born on the 2nd of November, 2nd of the 11th. We don't worry too much about the year that we were born for calculating personal year. So we take the 2nd that I was born on the 11th. So we can either do 2 + 1 + 1 equals 4. And then we add it to the 1 universal year. 4 + 1 is 5. So I'm in a 5-year. Or we can take the 2nd that I was born, and then we add it to the 11 because it's a master number. 2 + 11 is 13. 1 + 3 is 4. And then again, we add it to the 1 universal year. 4 + 1 is 5. So either way, I'm in a 5 personal year. Anyone that's watching who's in a 5 personal year, I spoke about the 5 a bit earlier. Big year for change, transformation, flexibility, spontaneity, the unpredictable, curveballs. It's a bit of a Uranian energy. It's got some Aquarius vibes. It's got some Sag vibes to it, and Jupiter vibes, because it's about expansion, travel, adventure, change, transformation, evolution. These are some of the key themes of the 5 that I'm doing my best to lean into. So Cindy, can you remind me of day? Okay, day 23, month 11. So we can do 2 + 3 is 5. 2 + 3 is 5, and then we can add it to the 1 and the 1, which is 7, and then we add that to this 1 universal year, which is 8. And that is the same for, I don't know if Pei Ling's still watching, but Pei Ling is in an 8-year. So this will be relevant for anyone watching that is in an 8 personal year. And there's 8 people watching on the live right now as well, of course. So the key themes of the 8 are, there we go. Someone else is in a 5-year. So the key themes of the 8 are connected to money, finances, prosperity, financial affairs, business, abundance, resources, resourcefulness, the law, legal affairs, contracts, agreements, power, and energy. So an 8 personal year has the potential to be a very abundant year for those of us that have a high level of self-worth. If we don't, or if we have a not very good relationship with money, it might be more challenging. So an 8 personal year invites us to be more empowered, to step more into a higher level of mastery of self-worth and valuing ourselves and commanding more money, more abundance, not from a selfish perspective, but from a self-assured, high level of self-worth. Again, with the law and legal affairs, it's about getting our ducks in a row in relation to that. Again, the only reason we might get pushed around in an 8 personal year is if we're not strong and solid in our self-empowerment, especially in a 1 universal year. So again, a great year to be strong on protocol, to be using the law if we need to, but also most importantly, to be stepping into a higher level of mastery of embodying the 8, which is embodying our personal power, to be empowered, to be able to protect ourselves. The 8 is about protection, energetically and also physically. The 8 is the other big masculine energy. The 4 and the 8 are very strong masculine energies. And with the 1 and the 8, it's about how can we protect ourselves? How can we value ourselves? How can we improve our financial situation? How can we improve our legal standing? And energy. The 8 is about energy mastery. How in an 8 personal year can we come into a higher level of mastery of our energy, how we use our energy, how we use our money, how we channel our energy, where we direct our energy. And, you know, when it comes together with like the 11, which is our intentions, how can we focus our energy in the direction of our intentions to call in more money, more resources, more support, business support, to support the weaving of our wishes and our dreams into reality. So I've been having to do a lot of work on the 8 in the last, since 2020, basically. 2020 was my last 8 personal year. And I was very conscious of it. I was a bit scared and nervous of it because I don't have an 8 in my blueprint. And I've been scared and nervous of the 8 energies for a long time. And I've been knocked about by them, especially the shadow of the 8. The shadow of the 8 is misuse of energy or money or positions of power to control or manipulate others. That's what some people might refer to as the patriarchy. But when the 1 comes together with the 8, the 1 says, how can we embody our personal power as a separate individual, sovereign, authentic being? And how can we not allow anyone or anything to have any control over us or to push us around? Or, you know, how do we stop giving our power away and allowing anyone, anywhere, anything, any place or person to have power over us? So this has the potential to be a very significant year for those of you in an 8 personal year and a 1 universal year, to be stepping more into your individual, separate, sovereign, authentic power, commanding more money, commanding more resources, so that you can be of a higher level of service, so you can take even better care of yourself, if that makes sense. So I hope that is helpful for you, beautiful Cindy. Let's see, what else have we got? So we've got Lady Free Flow 1111. I would like to know my personal year, April 24, 1980. I'm a life path 1, and it's the year of the 1, not sure of my personal year. So we would take the 24th of April. So 2 plus 4 is 6. And then 6 plus 4 is 10. And then we add 1 this year to the 10, which actually gives us 11. So you are in an 11 personal year. So the themes of the 11 are going to be playing out for you. And numerologically, we would refer to the 11 as the 11/2, because every master numbers are double digits, the same, 11, 22, 33, etc. Every master number has a mortal friend or a mortal counterpart. So with the 11, it's the 2. 1 + 1 is 2. With the 22, it's the 4. With the 33, it's the 6. And so with the 11, you're going to be experiencing the themes of the 1, because there's 2 1s in the 11, the 2, and the 11 itself. And what I say in all my to all my students and all the Zoom classes that I host and all the courses that I teach, for any of us that have a master number in our blueprint or are experiencing a master number, whether it's a personal year, personal universal month, in order to be able to embody and experience the highest level of mastery of that master number, we need to be embodying the mastery of the mortal numbers that make it up. So with the 11, it's the 1 and the 2, and also all of the mortal numbers that come before it. So the mortal numbers are between 1 and 9. So some of the key themes that are going to be playing out for you are going to be connected to the 1, which I've already been speaking about this in this class. The 1 is sovereignty, independence, leadership, way showing, guiding, seed planting, origins, the new, birthing things, starting things fresh, originality, entrepreneurialism, pioneering, exploration, navigation, being connected to our inner sovereign navigational system that is authentic. And it's also connected to source and oneness and unity consciousness. So how do we embody that and also embody our separate individual sovereign authentic selves within the collective? That's the 1. And then the 2, the themes of the 2, which will also be playing out, will be connected to peace, calm, balance, tranquility, harmony, equality, equanimity within all of our friendships, relationships, partnerships, collaboration, co-creation. The 2 is also a frequency of peace. And then with the 11, it's how do we embody our sovereignty as separate sovereign beings and come together with another being or other beings on the planet to create the Vesica Piscis, where the magic happens. But when we separate, we are still whole and complete. You know, the shadow of the 2 and the 11/2 is codependency and enmeshment. And when we lose ourselves or we abandon ourselves as a result of not wanting to be abandoned by others or to keep the peace or to feel included, etc. So this will be a big year, you know, where you'll be being invited to embody a higher level of mastery of how to embody your sovereignty and authenticity within all of your one-on-one friendships, relationships, partnerships, but also within the collective. And I feel this is a big test for everyone on the planet as we move towards 2027, because 2027 is going to be an 11 universal year. I know there's a lot of people getting caught up and head up with what's happening in the US, what's happening with Donald Trump, what's happening in Israel. You know, there's lots of things happening, but the 1 says, focus on you. What do you need? How are you taking care of yourself? What is happening in your immediate physical 3D reality? What's happening in your home, in your family, in your community? Focus on that first before giving your power away, before giving your energy away, making sure that all the ducks are in a row, all the boxes are ticked, everyone's healthy and, you know, feeling good and vibrant. And only then do we expend or share our energy outwards or extend it to people further away. Or if we're being triggered, how can we bring that back to ourselves and focus on ourselves and offer more love, kindness, compassion, empathy, support to ourselves based on something or someone that might be happening outside of us that might be triggering us, if that makes sense. The 11 is also associated with magic, the high priest, the high priestess, the witch, the wizard, saints, unicorns, the big vision, being able to leave the body, have what many astronauts call the overview effect. Those of us that are connected to the 11, we can have the perspective without having to leave Earth. And, the 11 takes us multidimensionally. The 11 takes us, into the multidimensional self and the multidimensional aspects of ourself and multidimensional connectivity across time and space beyond physical 3D reality. So yeah, that's some juju about the key themes of the 11 and the 1 and the 1 and the 2. Here we go. I'm breaking codependency and trauma bonding towards independence. Yeah. And also what Thich Nhat Hanh refers to as interbeing. Some people talk about interdependence, but I really love his references to interbeing, because, it really allows us to connect in more with that sacred geometric energy of whole and complete beings coming together, overlapping, maybe creating 200%, but still being 100% separately, so to speak. That this is the year, this one universal year is such an important year to be focusing inwards on self, taking care of ourselves, looking after ourselves, embodying our sovereignty and authenticity to prepare us for 2027. Because any of us that haven't embodied the mastery of the one, we will get more caught up in the enmeshment of other people's thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, words, choices, decisions. And that energy is going to start coming through from the beginning of July for the collective. That any of us that are in an 11 personal year this year, those themes are going to be particularly strong for you in your own kind of like individual separate life, if that makes sense. So let's see what else we've got. Probably got time for one more. I might have done the math wrong. Okay, Laurie, I'd need to know what day and month you were born. Actually, maybe that is it. The 24th of the 8th, 24th of August. So 2 plus 4 is 6. And then we add 6 to 8. So 8 plus 6. Oh, is 24? No. Just so that I'm clear, just tap into the comments if you wish. The day and the month that you were born, because I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to miscalculate it. If you want me to have a look at what your personal year is. August 24th. Okay, cool. It is. So 2 plus 4 is 6. Then we add 6 to 8, which is 24, funnily enough. And then we add this one universal year to the 24. No, sorry. What am I doing? 6 plus 8 is not 24. 6 plus 8 is 14. What am I doing? 6 plus 8 is 14, and 14 plus 1 for this one universal year, 14 plus 1 is 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. I was just getting distracted with the 24 for some reason. So you're in a 6 personal year, Laurie. So the 6 is, so the big themes of a 6 personal year are connected to, let me just see if let's see. I don't think, let me see what happens if I put that in there. And oh, there we go. 6 personal year. You can see my comment. That's amazing. So the themes of a 6 personal year for you this year, Laurie, and anyone else watching, connected to family, home, community, ceremony, the mother, father, the husband, wife, children, like I said, the home, domesticity, health and well-being, community, ceremony, and plants, and how we can use plants to experience optimal health and well-being. So those are some of the themes that are going to be amplified this year for you. If you happen to have a 6, a 33-6, or a 66 anywhere in your blueprint, they may get turbocharged and super activated as well. So we are nearly at the 2-hour mark, and that is generally the limit of these transmissions, me embracing the 4. Otherwise, I could sit here all day and talk to you guys about numbers. Thank you so much to those of you that are watching live right now, for those of you that have been watching live, for those of you that are watching on the replay and the recording. Hello, I'm so grateful. Thanks to everyone who's contributed. Thank you so much for all of your questions, everything that you've shared. These are always co-creative and collaborative experiences. I love doing them live. I would never want to just record it because my 11 and my 22 love the interaction across time and space, and I love using technology to connect with you all. And to have a more co-creational experience. My pleasure, Laurie. If any of you are new to cosmic numerology and you want to know more, just go to my website, which is cosmicnumerology.com, cosmic with a K. You'll find out more there. You can also go to my Facebook page, Cosmic Numerology, and Instagram as well. I'm there as well. Again, Cosmic Numerology with a K. You can also follow me on Facebook, Catherine Kinney with the Ks. And if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, obviously you're very, very welcome to, and you'll get notifications whenever these happen. That's awesome, Laurie. That's really awesome. Thanks for following. And yeah, if you've enjoyed this, yeah, like I said, like, subscribe, follow, comment, share with anyone else that you feel might be interested or might find this supportive. Yeah, most people didn't know I had a YouTube. I've had a YouTube channel for a while, but I haven't been sharing on YouTube. It's only been Facebook, mainly because that's been my safe place and my safe space. And I've been too scared to share on YouTube for whatever reason. It's been a massive edge, but I'm in a 5 personal year, so I'm embracing YouTube. And yeah, I'm just, feeling to kind of share cosmic numerology a bit further and a bit wider. Yeah, so this is an edge for me. So I'm really grateful for those of you that are meeting me on that edge, in that space, and supporting me, because my safe space has been Facebook for a really, really, really long time. I didn't want to let go of the safety of it. Malia, thanks, KK. Just wanted everybody to know I can't see another. Oh, it's okay. It's all good. Bless. So I just want to check and see if there's any other comments. Cindy, thank you, beautiful. I would love to access my blueprint. Talk soon. Thank you. My pleasure, Cindy. My pleasure. So, as I said, thanks to everyone who has joined me today here on the live, but also everyone who's watching the replay. I'm super grateful, and I always come back and look at comments and things like that. If you have any questions, or you want to book a reading, or you want to know more about how to study cosmic numerology with me, please feel free to send me a private message. I do teach Zoom classes, private paid for Zoom classes. These are my monthly free offerings, but I do teach Zoom classes, and I give readings as well, personal one-on-one readings in person, but also via Zoom. They get recorded if they're via Zoom and also in person. And I also do teach cosmic numerology courses. So I teach cosmic numerology level 1 and level 2. Level 1, you can pay to access it. There's loads of information about it in the study section on my website. But level 1 is it's an 8-hour course, 4 2-hour Zoom classes that were pre-recorded, and you get to join, a classes and a course that I taught several years ago. and you can study at your own pace, and you get a PDF manual that comes with it as well. So yeah, for any of you, and it includes all the foundational information about cosmic numerology. So all the key themes connected to 1 to 9, and also the key themes connected to 11, 22, 33, an explanation of all the key parts and aspects of what makes up a cosmic numerology blueprint. So life path number, expression number, heart's desire and soul's urge, personality, divine soul's purpose. It includes information about how to interpret and calculate your life cycle, your turning point, or turning points, your life cycles, and also personal year, universal year, personal month, universal month. Lots of really cool information, how to use cosmic numerology to interpret the numerological themes of addresses, how to use it in business, lots of cool stuff. And again, you can access those classes, study at your own pace, in your own way. You can read more about that on the website as well. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to send me a private message. So I think that's everything. I hope, oh, here we go. What's in level 2 as I've done level 1? Good question. So level 2 is way more advanced than level 1. So level 1 has all of the foundational information in it. Like I said, information on the themes 1 to 9 and the master numbers 11, 22, 33, and an explanation of the key parts of a cosmic numerology blueprint, what they mean, how to create a blueprint, and then how to interpret that depending on what numbers are there. Level 2 is more cosmic. So this is where I teach more about the themes of master numbers 44 to 99. And you won't read this in many numerology books on the planet, and you won't receive this teaching or information from any other numerologists, not that any that I've come across. And that's when I start to teach about how I connect numbers with stars and star systems. That's where I will teach about more advanced teachings about numbers connected to countries, cities, towns, places, and spaces. More advanced information about how to use numerology in business. There's also more advanced information whereby I connect numbers with animals and creatures, and also I cover the numerological themes of triple numbers, so the 111, the 222, the 333, etc., and also the 1111 frequency and number synchronicities as well. So, but I don't know if all of that information is on my website, because I haven't taught level 2 for a while. But I would be really, really happy to teach it for anyone that's already done level 1 and is interested to do level 2 as well. So yeah, feel free to let me know or send me a private message if you're interested. But yeah, I probably will put more information on the website about the content of level 2. It's next level, basically. It's like really how to take Python. So level 1 covers a lot of like introductory Pythagorean information, but level 2 takes it way more cosmic and more multidimensional, and it's way more advanced, because most numerologists don't talk about the meaning or the themes of master numbers 44 to 99, and I do. So I hope that answered your question, lovely. Let me just see if there are any other questions or comments on Facebook before we go. No, there aren't. So I hope this has been helpful and interesting and supportive for those of you that are watching. I hope you all have the most beautiful, wonderful, amazing close to this beautiful eclipse portal. I hope you have a wonderful full moon and total lunar eclipse in Leo tomorrow. For those of you watching in Australia, I hope you enjoy watching it. with your eyeballs. I will be. I'm hoping it will be a clear night tomorrow. That's Goal Getter Girls talking about level 2. It is awesome. It's really awesome and amazing. I love it. Like, I love level 1, but level 2 is just next level. So yeah, for anyone watching that's interested to study level 1 and level 2, or have done level 1 and want to study level 2, feel free to let me know, because yeah, it'd be my joy to teach that again via Zoom. Malia, I enjoyed my Heart's Desire class so much. My pleasure. Thanks for being here, darling. So yeah, have an amazing close to this eclipse portal. Have a beautiful, conscious, reviewy journey through this Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Have a wonderful equinox on the 21st, 22nd of March. And I will see you all again in about a month's time at the beginning of April for a 5 universal monthly forecast class. And for any of you that I see sooner than that for readings or in other classes and courses, awesome. Have a beautiful day, evening, night, wherever you are. And as always, keep your hearts open, keep choosing love, keep being love, and keep spreading the love. And I'll see you all soon. Sending you lots of love from the Byron Shire of Australia. Blessings. Bye.